Accused of violating model code of conduct, and Hassan DC Rohini Sinduri had instructed poll officials to lodge a complaint. Well, Hassan DC had also issued a notice to Manju for allowing staff to work in his office illegally. Well, for all the viewers who have just joined in, this is the big news that we are currently tracking at this moment. Election officials tracking a whip on these ministers. In fact, now this time FIR has been registered against Hassan district in charge Minister A. Manju, and the FIR has been registered for violating model code of conduct, and a case has been registered against A. Manju for using government office. Well, a case has been registered under IPC section 188, and this particular case has been registered on the orders of Hassan DC Rohini Sinduri. Well, FIR has been filed against Hassan DC in charge Minister A. Manju, and A. Manju is accused of violating model code of conduct. Well, Hassan DC Rohini Sinduri had instructed poll officials to lodge a complaint, and she in her complaint had also issued a notice to Manju for allowing staff to work in his office illegally. Well, an FIR has been registered against Hassan district in charge Minister A. Manju for violating model code of conduct. Now a case has been registered against minister for using government office. Now a case has been registered against under IPC section 188. Well, the case has been registered on the orders of Hassan DC Rohini Sinduri, and Hassan DC had issued notice to Manju for allowing staff to work in his office illegally. Well, on more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Pratibha on the phone line. Well, Pratibha, clearly Election Commission, in fact, cracking a whip on these ministers, and now the latest joining in is Hassan DC Rohini, which had clearly instructed poll officials to lodge a complaint, and Hassan DC had also issued notice to Manju for allowing staff to work in his office illegally. What more details do we have?
Absolutely. Now, in the latest, Neha, an FIR has been filed against A. Manju, and proceedings would be headed against him, of course. So now that prior to this as well, like you mentioned, a notice has already been issued to him. Now an FIR as well, so added trouble for A. Manju ahead of the assembly elections. So these are some things that he would have to worry about, and there is a threat that he would not be allowed to contest this time around at the polls as well. But now an FIR has been filed in this regard, not just against him, but also certain officers of the Public Works Department who were using this public place with this office property for political activity. That's what has been said. An inspection was also done by the Election Commission officials, and it showed a few people working inside. News9 also accessed exclusive visuals showing a few people working inside the office and clearing some files, which is against the Election Commission rules, which is a violation of the Model Code of Conduct. And authorities have already locked his office, and a notice has been issued to him. It all started when a few persons had alleged that the minister's office was still functioning from the inspection bungalow, and the BJP has also filed a complaint in this regard. And these visuals also speak for themselves. You can see in the visuals that the office was locked from the outside, but a few employees were working inside the room, and there were allegations that the employees were clearing files by mentioning old dates, the dates before the election model code of conduct came into effect. So as of now, we still don't have any reaction from A. Manju in this regard, but the Election Commission officials have also visited the inspection bungalow and confirmed that these reports were true. And at the time of the visit of the flying squad members, some of the women employees were still working in the minister's office, so they saw it firsthand as well. And based on these findings, the district administration has issued a notice and now also filed an FIR against him. An explanation has also been sought both from the minister as well as the PWD executive engineer and the other officials who are also accused in the case. And they've been given time to file their explanation for not vacating the office on why the files were still being cleared and whether these old dates were being used or not. And it is based on this explanation that they give that action will be initiated against them according to the code of conduct of the Election Commission. So these are the proceedings as of now, but added trouble at a time when the minister should be out and campaigning. This is a fresh trouble that he'd have to deal with, Neha.
Absolutely, Pratibha. Well, many thanks for joining us with those details. Now, an FIR has been registered against Hassan District in charge Minister A. Manju for violating Model Code of Conduct. Well, a case has been registered against Minister A. Manju for using government office, and the case has been registered under IPC section 188 and on the orders of Hassan DC Rohini Sinduri.